From sunny Portugal. So today we're in Porto, which is in the north of Portugal. As you can imagine, why we're here. Good food as usual. Why else? Plenty traditional things we want to try, some other popular things we want to try. Some of it's going to be street food, some of it's in city down restaurants. And the first place that we're going to is called Casa, Guedes. So it is a traditional Portuguese restaurant. They do a range of dishes that I want to try, so we'll touch on those when we're getting there. One of those is the world famous Franchesinha, which was invented here, which is like bread, then you've got like a steak, some ham and egg, melted cheese, and then some sauce that they make with beer. So that's the most popular export here, food-wise, of course. The wine is delicious as well. We'll get a glass of house wine from here as well. The Airbnb we checked into, they've left us a bottle of local wine, and it was absolutely delicious. But before we go into that restaurant, let me show you what the city looks like, or this park next to Casa Guedes looks like, because it is beautiful. The architecture here is so nice as well. And that there is Casa Guedes, which is our first stop. So, well, you can see them tables behind there. So let's go over, get some food and crack on. So Casa Guedes is located in the heart of Porto, near the bustling Praça dos Poveiros, if I'm pronouncing that right, area, and was built by Manuel Guedes in 1987. It's became one of the most popular eateries in the area, and it serves the all famous, what you're looking at right now, the bifana sandwich, the pork sandwich that we're here for, amongst a load of other traditional dishes, and dare I say some of the best red wine that I've ever had the pleasure of drinking even. So some of the food has arrived. So what you're looking at right now is the caldo verde, which is the green kale soup. Portuguese classic, had to try that. What you see there is a traditional cod cake, fried cod cake. We've also got a Portuguese style hot dog coming, and we also have the classic, what we came for, the pork bun. I forgot the exact name for it, but it's like a crispy bun with pulled pork in it and cheese as well, which is supposed to die for at this place. So look forward to trying that as well, and they should all be on their way. And to wash it all down, we've got a glass of red wine from the Douro Valley, so it's local wine as well. Well, may as well get to trying some of the good stuff. So we've already got a kale soup, waiting on the rest, but got some Bill Weathers playing in the back. Sun's out, beautiful city. Beautiful local red wine. And try some of that kale soup. That we just gave you the description of. Hearty. It's a hearty light broth. It's got some herbs in. I can't touch on what the herbs are. I think it's spinach. It's got little chunks of Portuguese chorizo in the kale soup as well. Obrigado. Thank you. Another sip of that soup, because that is delicious. The rest of the foods came as well, which I'll show you shortly, but in the meantime, a cod cake. I'm not usually big on fish when I'm outside of Japan, but fresh cod, herbs, batter's lovely and crispy. Can't go wrong. Wash it down with a glass of wine as well. But for the main events, to show you the rest of the food as well. The rest of our classic Portuguese scran, as we say in the northeast, has arrived as well. Crispy bread, look at that. Fresh pork, no doubt that's going to melt on your tongue. Cheese on it. Got the classic Portuguese hot dog as well. All of the food out together. By the way, all this food and the glass of wine came with just over 20 euros. Like, what a deal. Every time I go abroad, I just think about how expensive everything in England is and how it sucks, but time to try that pork sandwich, which is the main reason I wanted to come here in the first place. So let's go for it, man. Thick cut of pork, but really soft, cooked beautifully through. Big slice of cheese or cheddar on top of it, which just takes it to the next level, and then the crunch from that bread just to tie it all together and give it that texture with that melted cheese as well. Ooh, another bite. I could eat this every day, and I'd be a very happy man. Gotta go in for another bite. Good God. This alone was worth coming here for. And I mean the country, not just the restaurant. Show you the beautiful restaurant. Honestly, all that food was absolutely delicious. So the next thing that we're going to try, which was the first thing that I mentioned, the Franchesinha. Apparently that's the best place to try it, Cafe Santiago. Like I said, it's like a sandwich with bread, steak, eggs, ham, some beer sauce, some chips. There's no way I'm getting through all that. And if you're ever wondering if I'm going to these places back to back and eating all the food, I'm going to them back to back, but I'm not eating all the food at once. As you can imagine, I couldn't do that. So I've got my doggy bag with me with the leftovers from Casa Guedes, and now it's time to go try the Franchesinha at Cafe Santiago. So it is Sunday, so Cafe Santiago was shut, but lucky for me, a couple of doors down also does a Franchesinha, and the menu looks great too. It's called Santa Franchesinha. There's two different versions. I got the one called Santa Franchesinha, which is they have, I assume they have their own kind of little touch on it. And let's tell you what's in it. So it has steak, eggs, cheese, chips, ham. There's also, like I mentioned, a sauce made from beer. The way this looks is like, honestly, someone must have had a hell of a hangover and they came up with something just to soak it all up, because there's no way I'm going to eat all that as well, but I certainly shall give it a good go. So it was taking a little bit to come out and I was starting to get a little bit impatient, but now I can see why. Look at the size of that. What an absolute, it looks incredible and a monstrosity at the same time. It's been a while since I've seen a dish like that, but you've got cheese, ham, eggs, bacon, steak. a beer batter sauce also, but my god, what a bit of food, man. Let's get to trying this bad boy. What better place to start than to start cutting into this? I honestly don't even know where to begin. I really need to try some of that sauce. We've got some chips of it too on the side, so let me dip it in that beer batter sauce. I'll dying to try some of that sauce first. Let's go for it. I don't know why, but I thought the taste of the beer might be much lighter, but I can taste it in there. It's nice. Slightly like sweet and sour style type kick. No spice. When I say kick, I just mean flavour. Got that beer flavour in there, but now to tuck into the main event. Let me show you that layer. There's ham, there's steak, there's cheese, there's an egg on the top. Let's try our first bite with a little bit of everything combined. Ooh, look at that bad boy. You know what? When I heard about this, I was like, it's going to be too much. With all these different meats, and bread and cheese and egg, but that sauce just ties it all together so beautifully. It actually cuts through. It's got some kind of acidic thing in there, the beer, I'm sure the flavour helps as well. But it helps cut through a lot of the heaviness. Now, let's take another bite. Let me get some of that. Look at that yolk on the top as well. Got bacon too. Let's cut another slice and get a little bit of everything on there. So, got some ham, steak, egg, bread. Let's make that yolk runny. Oh, look at that. Hey, pour some of that on top of that bite as well. We'll slap that bacon on there. We've got ham, bacon, eggs, cheese, steak, and that sauce just tying it all together. Wow. Ooh, can barely get it on the fork. I'm struggling trying to get it all on the fork, but a little bit of everything. There must be like 3 days worth of calories in this. But try some of the chips again. Garnish with a little cheese covered olive as well. Honestly, it works. It really, really works. If you're apprehensive, if you think there's too many things going on the plate, like I was a little bit, particularly with all the different meats, that sauce ties it all together beautifully. So definitely give it a try. Shout out to Sancha Franchesinha. So we are in Rissol. So Rissol is one, if I'm pronouncing it right, is one of the other traditional. So as I was saying, Rissol is one of the other traditional Portuguese food. I think it actually originally comes from France, and what it is essentially they have like a meat patty, and then that's put in some pastry rolled in breadcrumbs and then shallow fried or deep fried. So we've came to a place called Rissol. The ones I got were, this one is a sardine one. You can't be in Porto and not try a sardine one. This one is tomato mozzarella. And this other one is leitão, which is suckling pig. By the way, that last sandwich I had, the Franchesinha, at the place I had it, it was like a custom one they'd made off their own back. So I was wondering why it was so big. So it was two Franchesinhas essentially side to side, which is why it looks so big. And the right one had everything the normal Franchesinha has in it, the steak, the eggs, etc., the ham. The left one, instead of a steak, had a burger. It had caramelized onions on top, and then the same rest of the stuff, the beer sauce, the cheese, the ham, etc. So it was like two Franchesinhas in one, and then some chips on the side. And absolutely no, I didn't get anywhere near to finishing it. But trying these now, we will go with the suckling pig one first. You can tell just by touching it as well, they are fresh, you can tell the heat coming off it as well. So. So, like a meat patty, deep fried in pastry. It is delicious. The pork is still lovely and warm. Got some herbs and spices in it. Lovely. That crispy shell with the bread in. It's not at all greasy either. Everywhere I tend to try out for foods, usually I'll try and look for places with good reviews and go there first, but lovely. This one is the cheese and mozzarella one. Take a bite out. Like a little pizza pocket. Lovely. Finally, the sardines one as well. I'm not gonna lie, I've never been a big fan of sardines. I think the taste of the fishy taste of them is a bit much for me, and I think in this case as well, trying to keep an open mind, but it's exactly the same. So it's not bad at all. It's cooked perfectly. I think sardines is just one of those things where it's an acquired taste, and I've not acquired it, so not for me, unfortunately, that one. But the other two, absolutely beautiful. I try to keep an open mind, but it is what it is. So there is the tarts that were picked up from Manteigaria. Terrible at pronouncing these Portuguese names for different things. And this is McRib. Ignore all the bags on the floor. Garden outside. Yeah, I brought the tarts back. I didn't want to sit there. I was too busy. And ta-da! Get one of these tarts out. I was thinking it's not big enough for her to put 6 in. It's because they've put like 2 in at a time, upside down facing each other. Grab one of these bad boys. Oh, look at that. Wonder how they do that at the top. If they burn it slightly, or if it's just from the oven, God knows. But fresh, flaky pastry, custard thing, egg custard thing in the middle. They're nice in England as well, but this doesn't taste like the ones you get in Portugal. Lovely fresh pastry, flaky, nice little texture. A slight charred flavour, making it even nicer. And a sweet egg custard in the middle. If I didn't get diabetes, I'd eat these every day. A latte in the morning with one of these. I can't think of anything nicer to have. As a quick pick-me-up. And with that, our Porto food adventure's over. If you liked it, press like. If you really liked it, subscribe. There'll be plenty more food coming from all around the globe in the future. And with that, goodbye.